Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our regular session this evening. The first item on the agenda is roll call.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Alderman Taylor,
Here.
Alderwoman Bibbs,
Here.
Alderman Hartman,
Here.
Alderman Runyons,
Here.
Alderman Maloney,
Here.
Alderman Rousey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Will you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and please remain standing for a moment of silent prayer for our men and women in harm's way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very, very much. You may be seated. The next item on the agenda is the approval of tonight's agenda. Is there a motion?
Mayor,
Alderman Taylor.
I move that the agenda be approved as printed.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So tonight's agenda has been approved. The next item is the approval of the minutes from the regular sessions April the 11th, 2023, and the special session on April 18th, 2023. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
make a motion to approve the minutes of our last regular session of April 11, 2023, and the special session of April 18, 2023, as printed and presented.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So the regular session minutes from April the 11th, 2023, and special session from April 18th, 2023 have been approved. The next item we have is awards presentation, organizational business. We have a number of items here. I am going to drop down to the item here. Item E is the recognition of Mayor Jones for 25 years of service. We're going to move that up, and I'm going to ask for item C first for a motion for item C, the various boards and commissions and the amendment thereof.
Mayor,
Yes.
well, we did add, that's why I gave you all the hard copies, we did add Damon Randolph to the Industrial Development Authority to be appointed, so just so whoever makes the motion is aware that we've added that.
So Becky's telling us that on our desk before us is the modified motion that includes Alderman Randolph, so he's also a part of the IDA. So is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
I'd like to make a motion that the following appointments be made or be recommended to the Parks and Rec Commission, Samuel Jewson, a reappointment to a 5-year term that expires on April 30th, 2028.
Becky.
And Alderman Thomas Rousey to appoint to fill the vacancy of former Alderman Damon Randolph to a 5-year term that expires April 30th, 2027. Into the Industrial Development Authority, Damon Green to reappoint to fill a vacancy to a 6-year term that expires on April 30th, 2029. And Damon Randolph to fill an appointment to fill a vacancy of a 6-year term that expires April 30th, 2029. For the Planning Commission, Alderman Joe Runyons to appoint to become the board liaison. To the Tax Increment Finance Commission, Alderman Joe Runyons to be reappointed to become the board liaison. And to the Zoning Board of Adjustment, Alderman Dale Taylor to become the board liaison member.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Taylor.
I second.
It's been moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So those appointments we will be doing here momentarily. So first we're going to start with the outstanding Alderman Damon Randolph. You're going to do something a little different. He's here with his wife, and Alderman Randolph, would you step up to the mic with your lovely bride? And I'm going to ask the board to be so kind as to provide any comments you'd like to provide for. So we're going to start with Alderman Rousey. Anything you would like to add about Alderman Randolph?
Well, you're going to be missed, sir, but I will always see you in the morning, won't I?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Amen.
Damon, it's been a pleasure. Hate to see you step down, but I know you got other things to do, and you really been good to get to know you better, and appreciate everything you've done.
Thanks, Dean.
Damon, it's been an honor to serve with you, and I'm looking forward to continuing our friendship,
Thank you, Debbie.
and you will be missed.
Sir?
Well, I'm looking forward to having a friendship with you now, so we can be friends here. So, no, Damon, it's been great. You and I worked with each other for 6.5 years, and every one of us brings a unique voice. But you had such a technical voice, but it was always a very calm, cool, collected leadership that you had. But you always made me think outside the box, and I think that made everybody better. So I appreciate your service to Grandview. I know you're not going anywhere because I just made a motion to put you on something. So we're glad that Grandview's still going to be top priority for you. But you expect a phone call for two every once in a while just to pick your brain. So, but thank you for everything.
Thank you, John, and you say nay like no other.
Hey, Damon, we only served about 2 years, but I appreciated and then while I was in the state, you came down 4 or 5 years, and it was always a joy to see you, and you always had good information on what was going on in the city, and I think you did a great job while you were here. Wish you had, think about coming back someday.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
Coming back.
Not right away.
I'm glad you served the city like you did. Hate you leaving, but I'm glad you're leaving because I've got a nice warm seat. But seriously, it's good someone represents the city and do things for the city, and you did a good job. And I'm still picking your ears. I'm going to call you, and how, like we've talked about.
My number
Thank-
hadn't changed, did it?
Thank you.
And to those in the audience, Alderman Randolph has been a blessing to us as a city. Not only has he served Ward 1, but he has served in many different capacities. Damon was the co-chair of the First Suburbs Coalition, and that was huge. First time anyone from Grandview has ever served as the co-chair for the First Suburbs. So Alderman Randolph kind of broke that ice. That ceiling is no longer there, and he cracked it, so we appreciate that. He's also served as president of MML Westgate, and not only that, but he was vice president. They kind of moved him up to president even sooner because of his service, and we appreciate that as well. Alderman Randolph has been instrumental on the Parks and Rec Commission, and he has been a very good and solid voice for the city of Grandview. So for many, many opportunities we've had, it has been good to work with Alderman Randolph. And, he's a great man, but he would not be half the man if it wasn't for Ms. Kim Randolph. So she has made a tremendous difference, and thank you for your volunteer hours. You volunteered for different events, and not only Parks and Rec, but you volunteered for Harry Haydays and other things. So you both have been instrumental, and we really do appreciate this. So, and everybody who has served as a elected official for 5 years, we actually have a plaque that we're going to give Alderman Randolph and naturally to Kim. So once again, thank you, sir, for your service. This reads as follows. Alderman Damon Randolph, in appreciation for over 6 years of service to the city of Grandview as Alderman, Ward 1, October 25th, 2016, April 11th, 2023. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. And thank you, ma'am. And the board would like to thank you guys as well. And then we want to hear from Amanda.
Um, Well, thank you for this appreciation. Honored to have it. Um, I don't have a long speech. If you want to check me out, it's recorded on the one I gave at my last regular session, so you can go check that out. Um, I'm just going to continue to try to serve. As I'm signing up for, getting appointed to something tonight. And my wife is being supportive as always as I'm signing up for something on our anniversary night. So when we run out of here, it's because we got 7:45 dinner reservations. But appreciate you all. Thank you.
And in honor of his dinner reservations, we're going to just change it up and we're going to go on and do the appointments. Okay. So let's prepare Becky to do the appointments. Guys, let's come up here and we will, this is a very important anniversary and we don't want to get in the way of an anniversary. So, Damon, sir, Samuel, let's go, guys. Everybody being reappointed. Uh, Christy, where is she? Joe? Joe, Thomas, come on, guys. All of them got to get up here. And Becky, make sure that Alderman Randolph is the first one to sign so he can leave. Okay.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri and the provisions of all the laws of this state affecting cities of the fourth class and the ordinances of this city, faithfully discharge all duties pertaining to your office, and faithfully demean yourself in the office to which you've been appointed, so help you God?
I will. All right, sound good. Thank you. And we just congratulate you. So
Right, okay.
You can go sign. You can get out of here. Congratulations. All right. Got to get this anniversary dinner.
Find yours.
Damon, you've got to sign too. Yes, you've got to sign there. Joe?
Right here.
Damon and Samuel. You guys don't have to sign because you've already taken the oath.
Thank you. All right. Thank you all.
Have you already? Okay.
Samuel,
You've already taken the oath.
Oh, okay.
Samuel is next. Right here.
Okay. Alderman Randolph, enjoy your anniversary dinner. Kim, enjoy the anniversary dinner. Thank you very much.
Damon Green. Yeah, because you're an actual member of the
He's going to get this thing over with. Yes.
You're not just liaison. You're a member. Thank you very much. Joe, you don't have to sign.
Yes.
This is yours. Thank you. We got everybody.
Yes. We're going to do this real quick because it's not something I want to do, but we're going to do this 25-year thing. Jones, will you come on up? We're going to get this done, okay? Yep. Oh, Becky's going to read something. Okay.
Part of your resolution.
And you don't have to read everything.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm
All
not
right.
reading everything,
Okay, summarize. Good.
but I am reading the important stuff. So This is a resolution from Congress, um, the higher up Congress than the state Congress. So Emmanuel Cleaver, who is our congressman, was kind enough to offer a resolution at a congressional level. And so this is from the House of Representatives, the speech of the Honorable Emmanuel Cleaver II in recognition of Mayor Leonard Jones' 25 years of elected service to Grandview, Missouri. During this time in executive office, Mayor Jones has overseen significant population growth, the development of countless new housing units, a sharp increase in commercial activity, abundant construction, an uptick in revenue, and a decrease in crime rates throughout the city of Grandview. With a population of over 25,000 people, Grandview is well served by its insightful mayor and the determination which he approaches the challenges facing everyday people. From repairing streets and sidewalks to revitalizing public parks, Mayor Jones has consistently delivered tangible results for the people of Grandview while acting as a faithful steward of the tax dollars to which the city is entrusted. Beyond his responsibilities as mayor and a member of several boards of directors, Mayor Jones retired from Sprint, T-Mobile after working in various positions within the company for 34 years. Mayor Jones is the recipient of the 2015 Distinguished Alumni Award from Metropolitan Community College at Longview and the 2019 Jane Bryan Distinguished Alumni Award. Veterans of Foreign Wars and Veterans of Foreign Wars post-8100 here in Grandview. Additionally, Mayor Jones served our country in uniform and achieved the rank of Lieutenant Commander as a Supply Corps officer in the U.S. Naval Reserves. Grandview's mayor has never failed to lead by example, and his years of service to this community and our nation will continue to inspire for generations to come. On behalf of the 118th Congress, I applaud Mayor Jones for serving the good people of Grandview, Missouri, for the last 25 years in elected office. Mayor Jones's outstanding record of public service should serve as an example for people throughout this great country, and I want to wish the mayor all the best in the years to come. Signed, Emmanuel Cleaver II, Member of Congress, 5th District, Missouri.
And token of our appreciation, this is our tradition in Grandview, Missouri. We make sure that our elected officials know that you guys do matter. And this is our plaque for 25 years for you to keep it in your office. Really appreciate you, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Mrs. Mayor has something for you too. Be careful.
You know, these secrets are not the best thing in the world for marriage, right? Thank you. Needless to say, I knew nothing about this. My wife did not say a word. Congressman Cleaver or staff didn't even call me. So typically, I'll call Andrew, and we'll have that conversation because I'm sure Andrew's the one who had that done.
He delivered it.
Yeah, he delivered it. Okay, so, but once again, thank you to the city of Grandview. Michelle and I are just grateful to be servants, and to us, this is a ministry, and we enjoy ministry. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate it. That's all right. Secrets. You know, we do secrets, but that's okay. We're going to try to reduce the number of secrets that we do. Amen. I am grateful for Citizens Academy graduates. You know, you guys are the stars. I mean, it's important for us to have informed citizens. citizens who know more about what's going on in the city of Grandview than many other residents. So being a Citizens Academy student and a graduate is something to be attained. And I applaud you guys for what you've done. I mean, you've spent the upteen weeks learning more about the city of Grandview, and I've had the privilege of seeing most of you in some of those sessions, and it's just been a great opportunity. So now you are graduates. Now you can officially volunteer to help us in Harry Haydays next Saturday, next Friday and Saturday. So we expect to see your names on the volunteer list. Amen? That is good. So I'm going to call your names off. If you would, let's do this. The board, if you'll stand there, and if you would stand in front of the board, that would be great. And I'm going to call your names off and shake your hand. Becky's going to be so kind as to go through the list of bags to determine which bag goes well. Is it in alphabetical order? That's okay. The first, the first one we have is Christy. Christy, please come up. Needless to say, Christy was a joy to have in class, and it was always a fun time. Amen. So thank you. Oh, there goes my list. Christy, no, Christy, you got to go there, Christy. Is this a group hug? Yes. You can tell the fun, right? Group hug. Although this is out of order, but Charlie Knight, also a graduate. There you are, sir, and thank you very, very much again. Thank you. The Air Force is truly here. With the Navy. Glad to have you. And we have Vicky. Vicky's in the house. Come on. Vicky was. And thank you very, very much again. Well, oh, here you go. Say that again a little bit louder so everybody can hear that. It was awesome. I learned so much. Okay. I'm going to give you another opportunity to say that again, but I'm glad you said that. Absolutely. Selenia, she is here, and another fun one to have in class. Very, very much. And you got the memo. I got the memo. That's right. Here you go. Let you hold this as well. Absolutely. Look up here. So it was a fun time, right? It was great. And learning at the same time. So much. It was wonderful. Next we have is Lene. And I don't see Lene. Okay. We will get Lene's to her. Thank you. I'll put that right there. And we have Stacy. And Stacy was also pretty lively in all the sessions, right? Absolutely. So thank you very much, Stacy. And Darnell Brooks. Okay, Burks. Darnell Burks. And this one is important for you to know. Ms. Burks has been to Citizens Academy how many times? Okay, at least 4 times. She's been to Citizens Academy. And do you learn something all the time? Yes. Absolutely. Always learning. Definitely. What's a blessing? Having fun. Charlie, you've been to Citizens Academy how many times? Twice. So thank you very much. Ready? Appreciate it. Thank you again. Jennifer is here, and Jennifer is another one of those that kept us on our toes. But Jennifer is Air Force, and we don't hold that against her either. It's always good to have you, right? Turn around. Yes. So she's another one that has been fun to have in class. So awesome. Is Diane here? Diane? Yes, And just so everybody knows, Diane's got a good name, Jones, so you know she's good people. Okay? Just, that's right. Good people. No, you were Jones. We dropped the Elvis. Thank you. And we have, some people are just so busy doing so many things, and some people have been volunteers in many different capacities, as well as worked on school boards and bands and a whole bunch of things. Volunteering has been her life mission. And Beth, why don't you come? Beth is another graduate. And Beth has been around Grandview a couple of days, but she has volunteered in many capacities, and you've been grateful. So thank you very much. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you again. These are your 2023 Citizens Academy graduates. Now we're gonna stand here in the front of the board. We want to get that back. Come on up front. We want to hold it back. I want you guys come on right here. Step right here. Step right here. Step right here. Okay, we'll take care of that. Step right here. The beauty is this. It's important for you guys to tell the rest of the city what you've learned. Okay? One thing, because we got to move on our meeting. One thing you've learned, and pass the mic.
I learned how to be a better citizen, and I'm getting my two great-grandchildren to come next year.
I learned how much I didn't know about everything behind the scenes and have a new level of respect and mostly honor and have been telling everybody about it. So, also, I've been translating into Spanish for our community.
I think I was mostly shocked about the budget. And I just appreciate what you all do so much. I mean, I just appreciate it all. I learned so much.
I was very impressed by the caliber of men and women that run this city. I was quite overwhelmed with just the genuine care. It really provoked me. And I live on our street, but looking forward to greater, bigger, better things for Grandview.
I learned quite a bit, even though I've lived here most all my life, and I have a better understanding of how Grandview runs.
Yeah, there's so much that we learned, and I missed the budget the first week, so I need to come back next time to hear that. But I think the thing that impressed me the most is just how honoring each different department was of the other ones. As we were hearing from them, they're always talking about what the other departments were doing and how they were working together, so that's really great to see.
Well, I learned a lot, and I want to say thank you to the Grandview. The police officers, the fire departments, everybody was fantastic, even the finance people. And learning. I think anybody that lives here in the city should always take a class like this. This is the way we learn about it. So I thank everybody.
I've learned the people in Grandview that work for Grandview really enjoy their jobs. And also, don't be afraid to call if you have a problem instead of just complaining about it.
Well, and this is so important for you guys to tell the rest of the residents, here's an opportunity to be a part of learning about what happens in Grandview. So tell the rest of them so that, Charlie. Some Air Force follow directions and some Air Force don't.
What it is, he stole my thunder. It was really great meeting all the city officials up in person, because you hear their names, you don't know them. And another thing I like to say, you all know my name is Charlie, and these are some of my angels.
Thank you, Charlie. We appreciate that. So again, 2023 Citizens Academy graduates, thank you guys very, very much. And make sure, Thomas, would you lead us around? Charlie, why don't you stand by Miss Burks? And Thomas, would you lead us around this way to shake everybody's hand? Thank you very much. And again, thank you guys. Thank you. And pass the word. Pass the word. Awesome. Becky, I put this one here. Right there. Yes. Thank you. That's a good idea.
You know, I had a feeling he was going to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You might be something.
And now they shake each other's hand.
That's not right.
Way to go, Charlie.
Passion.
Okay. All right. 7:30. All is well.
So once again, 2023 graduates of the Citizens Academy, thank you very, very much for all you have done, all you have learned, and we're expecting great things from you. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Anyone would like to address the Board of Aldermen for public comment, please step up to the mic, state your name and address, and once you finish speaking, please sign in with Becky Schimble here, and everyone has 3 minutes to address the Board of Aldermen, so please, the public comment is open. It's 7:31.
Good evening, Grandview.
Can you pick up the mic? Just hold it for us. Just grab, yeah, that works.
Good evening, Grandview. We on? This work better? There we go. I can hear myself.
Yes, that's good.
I'll start over. Good evening, Grandview, Missouri. My name is Ed Costa. I live here in Grandview, Missouri at 1107 High Grove Road, Grandview, Missouri. I live right next door to Dan Hartman. It's a joy living next to him. We do a lot of things together. We help each other out. We've known each other since just about 2010, and we do a lot of things together. I have some concerns that I would like to talk about. When I moved to Grandview, Missouri 13 years ago, it was a pleasant break away from the greater Kansas City mentality. People here are more friendly. They will say hello to each other, greet each other with a smile, and that makes things a lot more pleasant. Like other communities, things begin to slip through the cracks. Without more community involvement, participation, it's going to crumble quickly and get worse. While there are plenty of things to complain about, there are people within the City Hall that deserve recognition. I have personally been in contact with Sarah Jones in Public Works office. Less than a week ago, I addressed some concerns about potholes in the city. And within less than 7 days, those were addressed. Outside this morning at my home, potholes were being fixed right directly in front of my driveway. And the two gentlemen that were doing that work today, I don't know their names, but they were very well educated as what they were doing and proud to be doing it. And they were also aware of the traffic problems we have here in Kansas City with high-speed traffic. The gentleman actually knew the vehicle I was speaking of, which is a bright green Mustang that flies down our roads and streets here in Grandview, Missouri, particularly right in front of the elementary school at Con West. I have made suggestions about speed plateaus. That is much different than a speed bump. A speed plateau is an elevated surface at which it can be used for crosswalks as well as controlling the speed of traffic. The concern that was given to me was that it would be a problem for snowplows. I said, well, this is not a speed bump, it is a speed plateau. A speed plateau is an elevated surface that starts at 0 degrees, goes to a certain point, travels a distance, and then travels back down to that same flat surface again. So there is no bump that the snow plow is going to run into and knock the plow off of the front of the truck. I don't know how much time I have left. I know that
You have 2 minutes, sir. I've got the time.
Okay. Let me move on to part of this. Personal pet dogs off of leash and loose around the neighborhood is a safety problem for everyone. On my street and adjacent to me, there are neighbors that want to walk their dogs and they cannot do it because there's dogs that are loose out of their yards or not being contained properly by the homeowners or the pet owners. I wish there was some way we could take care of trying to address this situation.
You got 1 minute, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
In regards to traffic and speed limits, we have a serious problem on Blue Ridge Boulevard. From Grandview Road to 4979 Highway overpass. Vehicles travel across that area at 70 miles an hour or better. I have seen it. You can hear the roar of the vehicles. You can watch them as they pass other vehicles that are doing a normal speed limit, and they're doing twice the speed limit. And there's rarely any police officers out there with speed guns trying to control this. Our biggest problem is that turnaround over 4971 Highway. They take that circle coming off of the east frontage road and know that there's no stoplight to stop them. So they circle around that and they come off of there at 60 miles an hour advancing because there's no stoplight between there and the, I believe it's Truman Road, where Bank Midwest is located.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Do sign in, and we will get back in touch with you some of those items for sure. Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to address the Board of Aldermen? Right here. Sign in right there. Yes. It is 7:37. I declare public comment closed. There are no public hearings today. Is there a motion for consent items F through I?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that we approve consent items F through I.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
Mayor.
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. It's been moved and second. Any discussion?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyons.
I still have a problem with Berkeley being 20% under the estimates. There.
Okay.
It's not a good deal.
Well, I think it's a great deal, but I appreciate that comment. Any other comments?
Yes, sir.
Alderman Taylor.
Yes, sir. I kind of agree with Joe here. I've done a little research on Berkeley, and I kind of agree with him. And I believe we're going to have a closed session later on.
We will have a closed session later on.
Okay, but I kind of agree because they, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe this was the city budget was a certain amount, and I believe the four bidders were aware of it, and everyone overbid except for one. Now that is industrial suicide to me, and Berkeley bid it was the only one that bid below the city budget, you know, and they kind of made up for what they did, what they bid. I wasn't a member of the board at the time, but they made up for their bid for the streets. They bid way low, I think 390, 380. Well, they made up for it on the bid for the View parking lots.
Now, just to be clear, what we're talking about is a particular item that's in the bills, and we actually, well, I'll let Doug explain what actually occurred so that everybody's on the same page, because I think what you're saying is you're misinformed, Okay, so why don't you listen to
Yes.
Doug to explain what transpired and where we are today?
As far as the mill and overlay contract,
Yes.
uh,
Can you make sure your mic's
Yeah.
on and get closer? Get closer to
you're
it.
good. Berkeley Asphalt is our contractor on that. Before we went to the board with their contract, we got references from other cities that they had done work with. All those references were exceptional references. We proceeded to get them under contract, had a pre-construction meeting. They were well prepared for the pre-construction meeting, and they started work on time, and they're making great progress on the project. They've got crews out doing curb and sidewalk repair, and they've got just started in on the milling of certain streets, and that'll be followed up next week with asphalt overlay of those streets. So we're very pleased with the progress and the cooperation that Berkeley Asphalt has been providing.
But also, can you speak on, I think what I'm hearing here, they're concerned about the bid that's in the budget. And can you just speak, as I said budget, that's in the bills. Can you speak on how they were selected and what is going to be followed through that process as well?
mean
I
as
think
far as
what
the
you're
bid-
referring to, Mayor, is the engineering max.
Exactly.
That,
Yes.
but what does that mean?
Right, because I think the people are misinformed, and the public may be misinformed too, when they hear that so much under a threshold that the engineers have. And I think we just need to put it out there so everybody in the audience can understand as well.
As the city engineer, I prepare a engineer's estimate for these bids, and the purpose of these bids is that if all of the bids came in over the engineer's estimate, it would be cause to look at rebidding the project because there was obviously some unclear information that may have been in the contract documents. Generally, the engineer's estimate I prepare is usually on the high side because it's generally the most that we would want to pay for that type of work. So in these cases, I think in both the mill and overlay contracting and on this contract, the engineer's estimate I prepared was in the middle, which means some of the bidders were below it, some of them were above it, which is pretty normal.
So just to be clear, this is a estimate that you've provided, that you have estimated, and then it goes out for bid, and bids come in.
The estimate that the engineer's estimate that we prepare for the bidding is a number that we do not reveal until all the bids are in. So it's part of the electronic bidding.
So, Alderman Taylor, that's the reason nobody else knows that number but city staff. So there's no way in the world that you can say that they have come in lower because no one knows that but city staff. Okay?
Mayor.
All right. Well, I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah.
So city staff has a number. Bids come in. And at that point in time, they know who's over the bid and who's less than
So
the
this
bid.
was a sealed bid.
That's correct. Yes.
That's right. And
Yes.
Mayor, if I may, so this is pretty routine process for us. On an average month, city spends a lot of money to hire these contractors because there's certain expertise we do not have. In this case, engineering estimate is, if I remember this correctly, they not only look at recent contracts, other cities, and there are engineering books to estimate these, then they add additional percentages to identify that maximum bid. The reason this works in the engineering world is because if there are bids way over that, that gives us a reason to be able to reject those bids and rebid the whole thing, right? So the way we look at that is absolute maximum bid. and it's not shared with anyone beforehand, because if you guys remember this in our previous meetings, this goes to a third-party software where everybody bids at the same time in the same criteria. The only thing that is not happening electronically is there is a bid conference where all bidders are invited to ask questions. That's the transparency component.
Okay. Did that answer your
Yes, sir.
question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Alderman Runyon.
I had 40-plus years in the construction industry as estimator, project manager, journeyman wireman, and anytime there's a 20% difference between the rest of them and the low bidder, it's a red flag that goes up. Somebody's missed something, or they're cheating on the labor. That's the bottom line. They're cheating on the labor, or they've missed something.
And just for the record, I had 33 years, 34 based on Congressman Cleaver, in procurement. And, 13 years if you count the Navy. You submit bids, and as those bids come in, as procurement, you look at all the bids and make sure that everybody understands what they're bidding on. Once that understanding is there, you take those bids and then you get the best bid for the job that's at hand. That's what we do in procurement, and that's the right thing to do, for sure. Any other comments?
Mayor, if I may address
Yes.
what was just said also. I'm not going to tell you how many years of service I've been in a local government. It's irrelevant in this case, but I will tell you this. At the end of the day, these are your bids. Decision is yours. But fact of the matter is this. Some companies, depending on their workload, they get hungrier than others at times. We see this at times, that some contractors bid a lot lower than others, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're cutting corners. Because in our bylaw, we have to have certain requirements in our contracts. This is from not being able to hire anybody who does not have a Social Security to prevailing wages, and many things are in that contract. And those things are reviewed on a weekly basis with the payrolls and everything else by city staff. So when it comes down to that, if their portfolio is not full for that year, they get their pencils sharper. And this company is doing some of our road projects right now. I personally inspect their work. They're doing a very good job.
Mayor, I might add, from the Finance Department's perspective, is we have a bona fide process that the Public Works Department has followed. We feel that there was no reason to disqualify Barclay for any reason, and the Public Works Department didn't feel any reason to disqualify them for any bona fide reason that we could substantiate. So from the Finance Department's perspective, this was a good bid, and it's ready to be awarded.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, Mayor.
Alderman Hartman.
Just, you might clarify up what Dale said about we might have a closed session. If you have any more questions on this, he should talk about it now. Is that
Oh,
correct?
yes, right.
We
Absolutely.
can't really talk about that
Right.
particular thing.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's a very good.
That's a good point.
That's a very good point, Alderman Hartman. Without announcing going into closed session, by law we can't.
Right.
That needs to be announced well in advance so that the public is informed.
Right.
Yeah, but I want to answer his question now before we even have a further discussion.
Yeah, I just
So,
want to make
yeah.
sure if you had anything else
Right.
to
Mhm.
say it now.
Yeah.
Okay, one more thing. They're going to be working the streets now, and the other bid, are they going to split their crew, or are they going to start the other work? Because they have some good jobs. I went around and I saw them work, and because I'm an engineer also, different type of engineer, aircraft. We just fly. But are they going to finish this job, then start the other one, or are they going to break it down and do the other bids?
So yeah, from our perspective, we give them a timeline.
Okay.
And they need to finish that project in that timeline. Also, these type of projects, because of the dollar amounts, they insure these. So if they cannot finish the project on time, on budget, the insurance hires a secondary contractor to finish it. So we won't issue a contract without those assurances.
Well, go a little bit further. I hire a secondary contractor at their expense.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Insurance is expense,
Yeah,
Mayor.
it's the bond.
Insurance,
Right.
yeah, it's the bond
Exactly.
that they pay.
Absolutely. So, good.
Yeah.
Any further discussion?
One other.
Alderman Hartman.
Well, I expressed my concerns in the work session about if we could have an inspector as much on that job, since they're fairly new to Grandview, even though they have good references. You know, and I'm sure you're going to have somebody there as much as you can till they finish this
Absolutely. Alderman Hartman, when you came up with that idea, I already had that conversation with our inspectors. Normally, we do weekly checks. They're going to be there every other day.
Any further discussion? Any other comments that you guys have on the topic? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Nay.
Let's go through roll call, please. Can you,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey. Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Runyons.
No.
And Alderman Taylor.
Here. Nay.
Nay.
Thank you very much. The next item is ordinances, and the first item is 7692.
No.
We're gonna
We're
do
calling
the
the
closed
closed session.
meeting.
Closed session. Good point. Is there a motion for the closed meeting?
Mayor.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that we call a closed meeting. The closed session will be called for Tuesday, April the 25th, 2023, in the mayor's conference room immediately following the regular session and administrative hearing. Individually identifiable personnel records, performance ratings, or records pertaining to employees or applicants for employment, except that this exemption shall not apply to the names, positions, salaries, and lengths of service of officers and employees of the city once they are employed as such.
Thank you very much. Is there a second? Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. And just for you and the staff, the only thing we can discuss in a closed meeting is item 9 that's marked. So that is what the topic is. So Alderman Taylor, that's the only thing we can discuss in closed meeting, is what the closed meeting is called for. And that's item 9. Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Nay.
Alderman Runyons.
Oh.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
I think Taylor.
Oh, I did Rousey. Taylor, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Thank you very much. The next item is ordinances. Is there a motion for bill number 7692?
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Maloney.
Move that bill number 7693 be placed on its first
92,
reading.
92.
Oh, I'm sorry, 92. I make motion that bill number 7692 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mayor.
Alderman Taylor.
I second.
Bill number 7692, an ordinance approving a zoning map amendment for 1800 High Grove Road in Grandview, Jackson County, Missouri.
Thank you very much. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyons.
Aye.
Motion for second reading?
Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Maloney.
Move that bill number 7692 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second his motion.
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you, sir.
Bill number 7692, an ordinance approving a zoning map amendment for 1800 High Grove Road in Grandview, Jackson County, Missouri.
Any discussion? And Randy, I see you stepped up. Anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the board. This is, again, just a zoning map amendment. The property here at hand is bifurcated in its zoning between office services and C2. We want to just make sure that the entire lot is conforming with the recommended land use of our comprehensive plan with the rezoning to the C2 designation.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number, excuse me, 7692 be placed on its final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second your motion.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7434.
So bill number 7692 has passed. It's now ordinance 7434. Is there a motion on bill number 7693?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I move that we put bill number 7693 on the first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Hartman.
I second that.
Thank you.
Bill number 7693, an ordinance authorizing a contract with Barclay Asphalt Incorporated for the construction of the View parking lots and entrance drive program and authorizing payment.
Thank you very much. Any discussion?
Mayor,
Alderman Runyons.
well, first of all, we just approved to authorize a bid of $320,273.50, but then it's a recommendation that we approve in this ordinance $352,385.
There you go.
Sounds like they made up $30,000 pretty quick.
No, what we've included in that is just a contingency on our end. That way, if we want them to do additional patching work in that parking lot, or if we want them to do some additional curb work, we've got basically pre-approval to do that work, as opposed to delaying the work.
So why did we approve one and then we have a different an ordinance change?
So Alderman Runyons, the first one is approving those bids that came to us through that electronic system. The second one is city's normal procedure to have that 10% contingency, because every time you do construction, there will be things that we have not foreseen because we're going to be digging in. So as those happen, instead of stopping the project in front of our neighbors, we can continue through with those contingencies. This is pretty standard, and it's identified in our purchasing policy for the last 3 decades.
And those of you in the Citizens Academy, that's a part of what you heard as well. So yes, you're hearing that again.
I have some others.
Yes.
And this bid came in
Can you just get closer to the mic? Yeah.
the 24th of March. Is that when the bid was received?
Correct.
Jim, why don't you come up? Kurt, can you guys switch a little bit? Yeah.
We advertised for bids on February 28th. We received bids on March 24th. Typically, we give our contractors 3 weeks to bid.
All right. Now, I have this copy of a bid request from Grandview for the View parking lot and the South View Park
Correct.
parking lot.
Correct.
And it came, and there's even, it was bid.
That's correct. We asked a year ago or 2 years ago when we put out our 2021 street and overlay, we tacked on Southview to that package, and none of our street companies bid on Southview. And so it went into holding pattern because they just do streets. So we sit around, we waited because it's such a small project. We wanted to couple it with our bond projects that were forthcoming. We have 4 parking lots that we're going to be improving. We're not going to do all 4 of them simultaneously, but we felt it was a good neighbor with the view, that it would get good attention, and so we bid it as a separate ad alternate. We can't commingle that project with a bond project because it's not technically identified as a bond project. But we wanted to leverage the work to get done since it's such a small parking lot. with a larger parking area. So that's why it's included in the bid. We received bids. At the time, we didn't have funding in place for this specific project. That is in discussion with leadership on potential funding. And so it may come back and be added to the View contract.
But
But we have a hard bid for it.
as a hard bid, it came in at 400. It says that Berkeley was at $439,964,000.
For the two projects.
For
On the
both
two
projects.
For both
And
projects.
that's it. And this here says the contract was awarded.
Awarded for the View only.
No, I didn't say that.
I think it says the View without Southview.
In fact, they even list Metro, Will Pave, PCC Sports, and Little Joe's.
Correct.
And they listed as this total.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So Alderman Runyon's, all companies, we gave them a chance to bid for both. Look, this is a small park, very small space that we're trying to fix. It's been there for a while. The park has been rehabbed. For some reason, we're not getting a whole lot of lock for, if I'm not mistaken, 8 spots or 9? How many spots are we?
7.
7 lots. So our idea was, as we do with other things, when you couple it with other larger projects, you get better bids for those smaller projects, because this is for a mobilization of the company is who are doing this. Again, this is pretty typical. As a matter of fact, in our previous conversation, as I shared it with you guys, I reached out to the school district to see if they have parking projects so that we can bid them at the same time to get some savings because of the scale of those bids.
So, but, I mean, and they bid, if I'm doing the figures right, they added $120,000 to their other bid.
Yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why we're awarding that.
But this is misleading. Nowhere does it say there was 2 bids. They said there was 1 bid.
Yeah.
There was a bid and a bid alternate. When we took bids, there was a bid for the View, and then the bid alternate was the Southview parking lot.
And that was, but why didn't we see that?
What were,
This come from another source, because somebody was asking me.
No, this was also discussed, Alderman Runyons.
But it was never discussed that we had, and we took 1 bid and then we separated.
there was a bid.
That's not good policy.
There was a bid and a bid alternate. All the bidders bid on the bid and the bid alternate.
But we come up with a total.
That they do. They would come up with a total. And again, this is a normal finance procedure with regards to scaling a project, and city gets to choose what bid that is preferred for us to pursue.
So just to be clear, there are really 2 bids we received.
There was,
4.
well, a bid,
Bid
and
and
a
a
bid
bid
And a
alternate.
bid alternate.
Bid and bid alternate.
Bid alternate, exactly. Okay. So, any other questions? Anyone else with questions?
Yeah, Mayor.
Alderman Hartman.
Joe, since you brought that up, that is a little confusing. I didn't understand that part of either, the bid alternate and the bid. But going back to what we're voting on tonight, that was the 300 and,
That is correct.
Yes.
and then, but the contingency on top of that, if nothing extras are done, then he gets paid without the 10% on top.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So-
Yeah.
so that-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to
Absolutely.
clarify that up.
Yeah.
But that's in there in case there is extras.
Absolutely.
You know, and you're usually going to run into something extra. You know?
But if you don't, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't, then we don't spend the money.
Exactly.
But if they need it, it's already approved. It doesn't have to come back to us to approve. Does that make
Absolutely.
sense, Dale?
Well, that must have been voted on before I got here, because I was just aware of the View parking lot front and back. That's all I was aware of.
Yep.
Well, I was too, actually, but the way they explained it, it was a bid alternate. And like Joe said, maybe we should have known that. And,
Right.
maybe we did. Sometimes I don't read my stuff too good, but it's explained well tonight to me. I'm satisfied.
at the work session is when we went all
Yeah.
through the bidding process.
Exactly.
We're doing, where we had a bid for the View parking lot, and we were bidding the Southview parking lot as a bid alternate.
Yeah, and I could have forgot about that.
But appreciate
I'm good.
you guys.
I'm good with that.
Sure. Any further discussion?
Yeah, we've got one that's almost identical. On the front page of this Construction Act, construction start expected April. Nowhere does it say this was had an alternate.
Mhm.
And usually these documents, it's similar to the Dodge reports.
I could pull the contract where it is identified as a separate proposal as a bid alternate one. I have that at my desk.
It sounds like you're looking at something that was not the official
Bid document.
Bid
that
document.
the city put out.
By the way, where did you get that? Can you tell us where you got that? Okay, no problem. I don't want to know. It's not what
no,
you
it's
guys gave
where
us. Okay.
It's something that's out on the street
Okay.
every day.
But again, you guys did not give that to us, so he's looking
Sure.
at a different document. Appreciate this. Any further discussion? If not, roll call, please.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
No.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
No.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7693 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
Bill number 7693, an ordinance authorizing a contract with Barclay Asphalt Incorporated for the construction of the View parking lots and entrance drive program and authorizing payment.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
No.
Motion for final passage.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7693 be placed on final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
No.
Ordinance number 7435.
So bill number 7693 has passed. It's now ordinance 7435. Is there a motion on bill number 7694?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7694 be placed on its first reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
second.
Thank you.
Bill number 7694, an ordinance approving a commercial real estate sales contract and authorizing conveyance by deed of city-owned property addressed as 4010 Main Street, Grandview, Missouri, to Ramsey Investments, LLC.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Motion for second reading.
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Maloney.
move that bill number 7694 be placed on its second reading.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Bill number 7694, an ordinance approving a commercial real estate sales contract and authorizing conveyance by deed of city-owned property addressed as 4010 Main Street, Grandview, Missouri, to Ramsey Investments, LLC.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion for final passage.
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I move that bill number 7694 be placed on its final passage and said bill be enacted.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderman Rousey.
I'll second her motion.
Thank you.
Alderwoman Bibbs.
Aye.
Alderman Rousey.
Aye.
Alderman Hartman.
Aye.
Alderman Runyon.
Aye.
Alderman Maloney.
Aye.
Alderman Taylor.
Aye.
Ordinance number 7436.
So bill number 7694 has passed and is now ordinance 7436. The next area is other business, and we'll start on my left. Alderman Taylor, any other business?
Yes, I was just curious about, those hearts that we have in Maplewood Park and the other around town. They're going to start bidding on those sometime soon. I would like Grandview somehow, I don't know who's in charge of all this here, but to get that heart, whatever it costs, and get it and park in front of the view.
Now, the Heart is owned by Grandview at Maplewood.
Oh, I thought the bid starts.
No,
in-
no, no, no,
Those
no.
are second
That's
round.
that's a second.
That-
That's
okay.
for 2023.
See, that happened before I got here.
Well,
Okay.
yeah. Ask questions and we can help you out.
Yeah.
You know. So yes, we own that one.
Okay.
And another one is coming before Harry Haydays.
That's right.
Is what
So
I heard.
It should be here by next week, and that's not ours. That's a program
Yes.
that we are part of, and it is going to stay with us a couple of months, though.
Right.
And they're going to place it for the Harry's Heyday on our main street, somewhere around City Hall.
Yes.
But there will be a second one.
So, and Mayor Weir did confirm that we should have it before Harry Haydays.
Yep.
So,
And delivery arrangements has been made, Mayor.
good.
So we're
Thank
in
you,
good shape.
sir. Appreciate that. Anything else?
No, sir.
Alderman Runyons.
Couple of things. The gentleman that talked a while ago about the speeding on Blue Ridge, it's even worse going west from Grandview Road. People ignore the 40, the 35, the 45, they going down there 70, 80 miles an hour. They use the passing lanes constantly. Something has to be done.
Sure. One of the things that now that I've heard from Mr. Costa and you, Alderman Runyons, I'll have this conversation with the police chief and see what we can do. For a while, I've heard from you, Main Street was a priority. As a matter of fact, today we were patrolling it, and the people we catch, they're not very happy. The people we do not catch, you're not happy. So we'll find a happy medium somewhere.
Yes, could I add to that? I received a phone call a couple of days ago, and they're doing the same thing on Byers Road, but what they're doing differently is they have motorcycles and other cars going down the end of Grandview, going down Food Lane, and they blocking the streets off, and they starting a race at High Grove, and they're racing down. And there was a new family there, and they had a little girl, and they was concerned about that, saying, "Can we put speed bumps in there?" I said, "I don't know. I just bring it up at a meeting." And
But why don't you email the city administrator so he has that information early?
Yeah, happy
Okay.
to add. There's the normal protocol,
Yeah.
Alderman Taylor, is there is a traffic committee. The proposal comes from the citizen through that committee, representative of the residents, and they get to decide and they make a recommendation.
Right.
So there is a process there, but I will also tell you this too. If we start putting speed bumps in every street, that is in question. You will have equal or more people complaining about those two. So be aware of that,
Yeah.
because that's a cheap solution.
Anything else, Alderman Runyons?
I don't know if Hartman will say anything about, we talked about the shooting range last week. I guess all hell broke loose right during our meeting, 8:30, 8:45. We got calls.
Yeah, I followed
Last
up with
Tuesday
the
night.
entire elected officials last week. I believe I sent
Yes.
you an email on Sunday.
You did.
Okay. Explaining
You did.
what really happened and address all the questions that was asked that night.
And the flags and lights, if you're living up 2 blocks away, that flag or light means nothing to the neighbors.
So that's why Alderman Runyons at night,
Yeah.
they use a siren-like flashing light.
Military does too.
Yeah.
At night. So
And I confirm at the police department, including chief staff, that is a must-have, and they do it.
exactly. Yeah.
But it doesn't help anybody that's 2 blocks away that can't see it.
I got to think about that. I mean,
Yeah. Anything
we
else?
can't put a satellite out, but
Yeah.
we'll think about something else.
Alderman Maloney?
No, sir.
Alderman Bibbs?
I got a call from someone about the lighting under the Harry Truman Bridge, that the
Yeah.
lighting is out. Do we know anything about that?
So
shouldn't you email
Alderman
him?
We're
Yes,
that
exactly.
we're
Should he
on
want
it.
it? Absolutely.
Wasn't that
We
what I
are
was
on
told?
it.
You're absolutely
And-
right.
So these are MoDOT lights. If you remember, this was one of your requests.
Exactly.
We did magic there to be able to convince them to put those lights in there. But unfortunately, somebody hit that light pole.
Yes, they did.
It's been reported to MoDOT. That's their property. But Doug reached out to his counterpart at MoDOT saying that, hey, this has been reported, but please facilitate that. So I have two problems there. One is it's not our property, right? If I do the fixing, I'm trespassing. Regardless of what happens, I'm not going to jail for that, number one. Number two is we have to have a good working relationship because we do have a lot of mutual projects. So it's been reported. Doug is following up with them. So we're on it. Let Alderman Hoffman that we're on it.
Okay. Now, MoDOT's responsible for the maintenance, correct?
That is correct. We incurred the expense. That was our agreement with them.
Exactly.
And as a matter of fact, that was the neighborhood's request. So, yeah, but apparently they were part of the same circuit, and I'm still looking for that guy who hit the pole. Yeah.
Okay.
And if you know that person, I'm happy to run his license plate.
Alderman Hartman?
I just want to thank Ed for coming up here. He is my neighbor. Appreciate you coming, Ed. And I'll extend that to everybody in the audience there. We like public comment. It brings things up maybe that we don't think of or something, and it makes our community better when we have more input from the community. I think all of us agree with that. And it might bring up an idea that we've overlooked, and we appreciate any kind of comments, good or bad. We like the good ones better, but we will deal with the bad ones as they come, right, Jamal? Absolutely. Thanks again, Ed.
Alderman Rousey?
I have several things. One thing is down by our big sign that says Grandview, and we had all that work done in that, and this guy standing there and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? Is there a plan to?
You're on a camera before you say it, but go ahead.
Is there a plan?
Yeah, so there is no plan. It's their civil right. The panhandling is their civil right. But I will tell you one thing that we're doing. So they used to leave trash in there. We let them know it's our property, it's our right of way. They cannot. They've been cleaning it. If we see or our police department sees that they are dangerously leaning over and what have you, now they're in a traffic obstruction situation where we have to handle that. But also, right, wrong, or ugly, if you notice, we're beautifying our main street with regards to new planting and what have you, right? Eventually, we're going to get to those pots too. And, well, I'm hoping that they're not going to step on our on bushes and what have you. But this is a civic right, panhandling at the roadways. And this town, before my time, went through a lawsuit with this, and it was settled a long time ago.
All right. Several things from the chamber. They're having their job fair May the 17th from 3 to 6. Anybody's interested, somebody's looking for a job to come out to the job fair. It's going to be at Truman Marketplace. It's going to be an outdoor job fair. It's going to be really well attended. Also, the chamber needs volunteers for Harry's Heyday to help with the parade. If you got anybody who wants to volunteer for Harry's Heyday, just give Liz Oval a call.
Thank you. And to piggyback on that, Harry Hayday's volunteers, we've got the Citizens Academy graduates that are here. We want you guys to feel free to, volunteer and fill out that information, and we can proceed from there. Also, on Monday, Doug, we're going to be cleaning up, picking up trash again. Where have we have a spot identified? Okay. So we'll send out email messages. Those of you willing to assist in that effort will be going through doing that as well. Our first community cleanup day is Saturday, and that is from 9 to 3 at Raptor. So staff, congratulations and thank you for what you've done. Instead of having that at our Parks and Rec and Public Works facility, is now going to be at Raptor. And so Saturday is the very first community cleanup day at Raptor. So that's encouraging news. Staff, anything else you have for us?
A couple of things, Mayor. One is Harry's Heyday's event, just confirmed by the staff that we have up to 85 vendors. So I think this is a big record for us. We're expecting a lot of people. There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of interest, and we are increasing our marketing for that event. So you'll see quite a bit of people. The other one is a shout out to Raptor. They donated the container that we used last Friday. and they did not charge for the cost. And going forward, every time we do a community cleanup, they are going to donate those large dumpsters for us. And they come, drop it off, and pick it up for free.
That's fantastic. And great individuals. We also have, I think Chamber has something on Friday, invitation for Final Friday Finance, Fraud, and Funding. It's a free event, so feel free to participate in that. So thank you very much. It is 8:20. Is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Alderman Maloney.
So moved.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Mayor,
Alderwoman Bibbs.
I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? So we officially adjourn at 8:20. We have an administrative hearing right after it. Could I see the graduates, Citizen Academy of Graduates, out in the back real quick? Real quick. And we're going to get ready for the administrative hearing.